If you think your favorite content creators or pundits are neutral, they're not. Everybody has bias. The only difference is that I'm upfront about mine. So let's get into my predictions. First up, Manchester United versus Newcastle. Now you'll see from the bias that I'm going to favour Newcastle in most results here. But looking at recent form, the inconsistency at Manchester United, and to be honest, all the injuries and suspensions and players they've got at AFCON, they're very depleted here. I'm tipping Newcastle to win this 2-1. I do think it'll be close, but I expect Newcastle to come out on top. Cunha's much improved, and I expect him to be heavily involved in this game, probably to commit a foul. He does like to get involved quite a bit. United have been happy to have shots from anywhere on the park. Doesn't matter if they're on target, they'll take a pot from anywhere. So also expect Man United to have the most shots here. Nottingham Forest versus Man City. Now, I'd like Man City to drop some points here, but I just don't see it happening. Common sense says City get through this one. I do like the fact that Forest have got their defence back together, which is why I've gone for a 1-0 win to City. I think they'll keep it tighter than they have done in recent weeks. Erling Haaland, he's going to get at least 1 or 2 shots on target. Man City to have the most shots wouldn't really be a surprise there either. Next up, Arsenal versus Brighton. Arsenal are very good at home. Brighton are poor away, so I'm going to expect this to go the way most would, and the league leaders to get a 2-1 victory here. I do expect this to be quite an active game, and Brighton to get quite involved, so go for about 30 or more shots in the game. Not all on target, but there'll be 30 or more shots in the game. And Declan Rice is always in the thick of it. He's been a brilliant player for them this season. I wouldn't be surprised if he commits at least 1 foul. Next up is Brentford versus Bournemouth. Now, this feels like 2 teams that have got a lot of attacking qualities. Thiago's been brilliant this season, and I expect him to have a shot on target. Bournemouth do get stuck in a fair bit, so probably expect them to commit the most fouls here. But I'm going for 3-3. I reckon this could be a really exciting watch. On the other hand, Burnley versus Everton. Yeah, Burnley sat back quite a bit. I've noticed that their opponents have most corners in all but I think 2 games this season. So expect Everton to keep that trend going and put the pressure on and have the most corners. As far as the players are concerned, Ndiaye's off at the African Cup of Nations, so I expect Ugo Chukwu to get involved in the midfield and probably commit at least 1 foul. After that, we move on to what's up next? Oh, Liverpool versus Wolves. It's really woeful for Wolves. I mean, the gap between them and everybody else, it just keeps increasing. They're also top of the foul chart, so I do expect them to get the most fouls in this game. And with Liverpool having Hugo Ekitike in their side, I can only see one result here. And that's probably going to be 3-0 for Liverpool. I didn't mention before, I went 2-1 for Everton. And I expect Hugo Ugo Ekitike to at least have a couple of shots on target here. Next up, we've got West Ham at home to Fulham. Fulham got a much needed win against Nottingham Forest, and Harry Wilson is certainly dragging them through a, a poor patch and turning their season around a little bit. So I do think with this one being away, though, I think West Ham will probably edge this one 2-1. Jarrod Bowen's going to be at the centre of anything good for West Ham, and I expect him to have a shot on target. I reckon this will be a London battle and expect 3 or more cards in the game. Chelsea versus Aston Villa. You'll probably notice from the bias meter that this is the biggest bias that I'm going to have on any team. And that is because I support Villa. I'm very positive on how well Villa could do. However, this would be a tight game. A lot of people would say that Villa away are not as good as they are at Villa Park, which is very true. But they've come through some recent tests away from home. This will probably be the biggest away test since the loss at Liverpool. And I think Villa are in much better place to deal with this now. It'll be no surprise that I am going to go for a 2-1 win. However, if you take my bias into consideration and you say this will be a 1-1 draw, I wouldn't blame you. At least you can see where my bias is. I'm very aware of teams that I favour and teams that I don't. In this game, I'm gonna say that Chelsea will get the most cards and most fouls probably because they collect cards. They collect yellows, they collect reds. So I don't think that's a wild shout. And if I told you that Morgan Rogers is going to have a shot on target, would that seem crazy? Probably be a bit crazy if I said it was going to be inside the area. Sunderland versus Leeds. You'll see from my bias that I'm not actually that keen on either team. I've got this as being a 2-2 thriller. Who saw Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming back to form? I mean, I've put him back into my FPL team, which may make you all think, oh, wait a minute, maybe I'll avoid him. But I have got him on the subs bench. So you know what that means. It means that he'll score big points and my 2 starting strikers will not. So I'm expecting him to have a shot on target here. Probably score a hat trick. Unlikely because my prediction is 2-2. So he's going to score 2 if it happens. A weird thing that I have noticed is that Sunderland tend not to have that many corners. So if you go for under 6 corners for Sunderland alone, then you wouldn't be too far off it. Crystal Palace versus Spurs. Now I do have a massive bias against Palace. Not because I've got anything particularly against the club. They seem to have lovely fans and play very good football, but they keep beating Villa, so I don't like that. But that shouldn't influence me that much. I do think they are out on their legs at the moment. The amount of games they're playing, I thought that they'd throw in a reserve team against Arsenal, and they went all the way to penalties. And they've got a lot of fight in them. So I might reassess the way that this game goes, but I have gone for a 1-1 draw. Spurs, on the other hand, they got injuries. They, thought they'd throw a couple of suspensions in there. Some silly moves by Romero and Xavi Simons to get themselves suspended. Having said that, I'd have liked to have seen this game if Palace weren't tired and Spurs have fully fit team. So this could be anything. This really could be anything. I expect there probably to be a fair few corners. I expect a lot of attacking. Let's see what their defending's like. Dean Henderson's pretty good. I think he'll be tested. I expect him to make at least two saves, if not more. So yeah. So those are my predictions. If you like predictions that show the bias the way that I've done it, then please put a like and a subscribe on for this video. I'm a new channel, so I would greatly appreciate the support. And please share it out to anybody else that you think will enjoy this. One thing I want to ask, as well as you put your own predictions for the games in at the bottom, I want to know why you watch prediction videos. Because I think there are multiple reasons why people watch prediction videos. And I'm intrigued to see in the comments why you watch prediction videos. Thank you for watching to the end. If you've got this far, this has been Bias Predictions, and I'll catch you on the next predictions.